Muziek die u wellicht vertrouwd in de oren klinkt. Een nummer uit Garbage, het fantastische debuutalbum van de gelijknamige band, waarvan de frontvrouw hier aan onze tafel zit, Shirley Manson. Welcome. Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm excellent.
Shirley, 2015 is a year of celebration for Garbage with the 20th anniversary of your self-titled debut album. How are you guys going to celebrate it?
Well, we are re-releasing the debut with all the accompanying B-sides, etc., and remixes that came out in that period. And we're going to go and do a short tour in Europe and in the United States, possibly Australia, but that's still in negotiation. So for the time being, just Europe and America, a few very small and short tour.
Yeah, you're going to pay a visit to Belgium as well.
We are.
The 5th of November, you're playing Vorst Nationaal.
Yes.
Are you going to play songs from other albums as well?
No. Everything will be from the era,
the
debut
Garbage
era, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty psyched about it, actually.
And any chance that we will hear new material?
Well, I always say no, and then I change my mind depending on how much whiskey I've drunk on that evening. So who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind, but the idea is that we just play music from 1995.
Great. Any surprises?
I don't know yet. We haven't started rehearsing, so who knows? But I don't want people to think of it as a surprise. It's a celebration of something that we worked really hard on, and we enjoyed an incredible experience with that record, and the fans have stayed with us for 20 years. We're still here making music, and we feel that that's a celebration of the fans. So really, it's about us meeting them and having something really special.
Yeah, and you have a special bond with the Belgian audience, don't you? Let's take a look at this clip from approximately 20 years ago.
Belgium was really supportive of us very early on, like from the first single release. And I think we really appreciate that. They got what we were trying to do really early on. It wasn't a case of, you know, our record broke all around the world and then a territory finally got into us. It was like they were there with us from the start. And so I think that sort of, you know, touches something in a band's sort of collective heart.
What were you told? Is it the truth, or is it something you say after every gig?
No, it is the truth. Belgium was very quick to catch on to us. I'm just, I don't know, it's just shocking to see your 20-year-old
I saw yourself hiding under the table. What happened?
It's just weird, you know? It's just really, really weird.
But how do you see that? How do you sense that the Belgian audience was so rapid in
Well, we were incredibly successful here.
Yeah.
That helps.
Okay.
And also we just keep coming back. You know, this will be our 20th year of playing in Belgium, and so that gives you some idea, I suppose. You know, and just all the shows were incredible, and they're not always incredible. I mean, you can go to countries sometimes and get a sort of cool response. You know, they're unimpressed. So I guess that's.
But do you have any idea how many copies have been sold worldwide from the Garbage, the debut album?
I don't know how many it's sold now, but back then it was over 4 million copies. So
absolutely crazy.
It is crazy. Although back then, you know, in the 90s, that wasn't even a particularly massive record. That was a successful record, but now that would be like, you know, I'd be Beyonce size.
At least it was an influential record. How come it was so influential?
I think actually in retrospect it was pretty sort of genre breaking in a way. I think people are used to their music being in real little boxes so that they feel comfortable going to that box and saying,
yeah, it was a kind of blend of
yeah,
all different stuff.
We blended a lot of different genres, and I think that actually was pretty forward thinking at that time, although we had no idea it was that forward thinking, but looking back I think it was. And
the bands, and especially you, rose to stardom in a heartbeat. What kind of influence was that on your life, being 20 years old? And it must have been like a crazy roller coaster ride.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, I think anyone who's had any kind of success feels the same way. It's shocking. I mean, you're just like me. This is happening to me. This can't be happening. And it's
Were you glad or scared? Or
I loved it.
Yeah.
Of course I loved it, yeah. But I mean, it's not without its downsides either. You know, I'm sure everyone at this table knows what that's like. Some great things come with success and some real pains in the backside come
Do you
with it.
play your songs in a different way now? Your songs from 20 years ago? Do you play them in a different kind of vibe or a different kind of way since you became older?
Yes and no, although we use a lot of technology, so the technology itself sort of defines the sound a lot. But yeah, it changes every night. I mean, I'm all over the place, unfortunately. But I think your spirit changes as you get older. But I don't know. I think I'm just immature. I find it quite easy to get back into the headspace of myself back then.
How did you end up with the bands?
They saw my previous band, which was called Angelfish. It got played on MTV in America once at, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning or something mad like that. And one of the band was up late and they were looking for a singer to work with, and there was little old me.
I heard you did the first audition and what that did work, the first one. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a bit of a fiasco, if the truth be told,
Really?
because I was really nervous and they were really untogether. I thought because Butch Vig had this incredible reputation as a top-notch producer, it would be really smooth and sort of professional, a little like you see on these TV talent shows.
Yeah.
And it was nothing like that. It was a kind of a fiasco.
Is it true? Apparently, you had never heard of Butch Vig back then.
I hadn't. I still don't, actually. It's a terrible thing to say, but I don't really pay attention to who produces records. I always feel like if a band is great at what they do, they're driving the boat.
Yeah.
Or is that the right expression? It's not driving the boat, but you get the idea.
Well, I think I understand what you're saying. But he's an amazing drummer, but is meanwhile one of the greatest producers.
He's a great
producer.
producer.
Albums like Nevermind from Nirvana, one of my favorites, Gish from Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah, Sonic Youth. I mean, there's a billion,
Yeah.
and he is brilliant at it, and he actually is very gifted, and I'm ashamed of myself.
So they gave you a second chance then?
Yeah, they gave me a second chance.
Yeah.
Or I gave them a second
Okay,
chance.
of
How about that?
course.
Wait.
And then at one point, the band split. It took 7 years to get you guys together.
Mm-hmm.
What made you guys reunite again?
Some would say stupidity. Some would say a desperation to show off. I mean, I think ultimately, though, we're musicians at heart and we want to make music. We have to. It's like not making music is like asking a fish to live outside of water. It's just part of who we are and what we do.
Yeah.
And so that made us come back for more punishment.
Yeah, well, punishments, of course. Apart from being an incredibly talented singer, you also have a unique way to talk to the crowds.
Oh, God, please, no. Oh, no.
Cry. Please, I pray that I don't start crying.
This is
Music industry has gotten so fucking mad, and it's all about selling records and making money. When I was a teenager,
Oh, my God, I can't believe
music was my life.
You were hiding under the table again.
No, because I thought you were going to play something else.
No, but this comes straight from the heart, I suppose.
Yes. No, I thought you were going to show a clip of me going absolutely apeshit.
But no, there's no ape shit at all. But
I'm glad it was me being nice.
and is this something premeditated, or is it just on the spot, something that happens spontaneous?
Yeah, I never work up by a script because I can't remember lines. I don't know how people can do that, but I can.
But how do you see the music industry evolving nowadays?
I don't know. I just don't even think about it as an industry anymore. It doesn't concern me. I just feel like I'm going to be an artist and let everything else can go on around me. I'm not totally uninterested in how capitalists are selling musicians and exploiting them.
That's the reason for the break, I guess, that you came out of that break.
Yeah.
With that new spirit.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's necessary to survive as an artist to get to that point when you cut the strings of all those expectations and compromises that you're asked to make. You have to make a stand, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you think your musical heroes would get a chance nowadays?
My musical heroes are still getting a chance. They're still making music. People
But
like
if
Patti
they would
Smith
start nowadays?
Oh, probably not. They wouldn't. Yeah, they probably wouldn't get arrested, unfortunately. It's a very different scene right now. I'm sure that'll change. I think everything's cyclical, you know. Mm-hmm. But it's pretty bad right now for people who are not like cheerleaders. You know, I feel like it's great for artists who are really robust. They're strong, they're powerful, they're physically beautiful. and they are disciplined, etc. But I like to hear from artists who are maybe a little fragile, who are maybe a little flawed, who are not the cheerleaders and the jocks. I want to hear from the weirdo in the corner who you know has got the best lines.
Yeah.
You know.
But on the other hand, you're a role model to many, many artists. How do you feel about that?
I think that is utterly terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, of course I take it as a huge compliment. It's a huge compliment if anybody has been inspired to make music because of something I have sung or said or anything. It's to touch somebody's life positive is great.
Do you know any Shirley Manson copycats?
I do. My 5-year-old niece, she's fallen right in my footsteps.
But when I see you now, I know a lot of copycats now. A lot.
Oh.
People who are trying to go back in that kind of music style. That's what happens a lot nowadays.
Well, I think people want that authenticity from the 90s. I don't know if it's necessarily me, but certainly that era of music was really exciting and really free. You know, it's very constricted now. But everything back then was, you know, you heard hip-hop next to punk, next to rock, next to singer-songwriters, and now it's just...
That was great.
Yeah, it was an amazing time for music.
Shirley, one more thing, one quote from you that struck me. I'm afraid of happy people. They're chemically unbalanced. What do you mean by that?
Well, again, I know that everybody at this table is probably in agreement. I think people who can't acknowledge their dark side, they're in trouble.
Yes, they are.
You know, you have to acknowledge the dark side, I think, in order to have a balanced, happy life.
But would you call yourself happy nowadays?
I am
Although it's not raining, but...
I'm practicing happiness. Every day I try to be grateful.
How do you practice happiness?
I just think about people that don't have what I have. I mean, literally, I know a lot of children, actually, in my life who've lost their lives really early on, and it really sobered me up. It made me realise I had to stop complaining. And I had to live my life, and I had to design my life and not wait for it to happen to me.
Yeah. I really look forward to your show.
It's gotten very heavy at the table.
No. I appreciate really. We look forward to your show on the 5th of November. En daar hebben we trouwens nog tickets voor als je erbij wil zijn. We hebben 2 duo-tickets voor het concert van Garbage op 5 november in Vorst Nationaal. Als je daar een van wil, moet je naar onze Facebookpagina gaan. Dan komt dat allemaal in orde. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Yes.
Thanks a lot,
Thanks so much
Shirley
for having
Manson.
me.